Would you ever drive a car that didn't really have forward, neutral, and reverse in a parking lot? Well, that's really what a personal watercraft is. Stick around to find out more in today's video. Hi, I'm Sean from Cove Lessons in Boating. And in today's video, I'm going to go over the very basics so that the very first time you operate a personal watercraft, you feel comfortable in close quarters so you know what to expect. Now, each machine is a little bit different. So today I'm using a Yamaha Waverunner FX Cruiser HO. And really the two main differences between a Yamaha and a Seadoo are how the reverse system works. So the very first time you go to use a personal watercraft, you might be a little bit intimidated and not exactly sure what to figure out. The biggest difference between a regular boat like a sterndrive or an outboard or an inboard towboat and a personal watercraft or jet boat is that there really is no true forward, neutral, and reverse. Most of the machines have those capabilities, but it's not like an actual in-gear forward, neutral, reverse. Technically speaking, they're always in forward. So the moment you start the engine, it's in forward gear or the impeller is turning from the engine. How it controls that momentum or force by directing the jet flow is by what we call a gate or a valve, where it directs the flow of the water that comes out of the back of the jet nozzle, either completely with no restrictions, which would be forward, partially restricted, and usually up and down or side to side, which would be neutral, or completely restricted, up, down, side to side, which would be reverse. So as you shift gears by either pulling a large handle that's on the side of some of the older machines, or by using a control typically on the left or port hand side handlebar, you can shift gears into neutral, reverse, and then put it back into forward by using the throttle. So let's start from the very beginning. Always wear a proper personal flotation device, and if you're not too sure what to use, check out this video here where we cover the subject. Next, you're always going to want to wear your lanyard switch, and there's two different types. On this Waverunner, you'll see a clip system, which is very similar to Yamaha's clip systems on their outboard powered boats, that the lanyard clips in, and if you were to fall off the machine, it unclips, and that's what stops the engine. This is vitally important because a large wave or a sharper sudden turn or hitting an object in the water has a high likelihood of throwing you off this. You're going to want to make sure that you're always using it. Never skip that step. On a Seadoo BRP machine, you'll find that these lanyards actually have an electronic signature in them, and you can't mix and match them. You have to use the one that came with your machine, and it actually plugs in, and that turns into the key for the unit. So once you have your life jacket on, you're in the water, and you're untied or you're coming off the trailer, and you're using your lanyard switch, you might want to make sure that you're wearing something that can get wet, a bathing suit or light gear. Make sure you don't have your cell phone in your pocket. Make sure you don't have important things like keys. If anything, you can put them in the storage compartments, which usually are watertight, but you're definitely not going to want to have anything important on your body, loose-fitting jewelry, or a hat that could fly off when you're going across a lake. So we have life jacket, lanyard, all personal stuff is away, and now we're away from the dock. You'll find when you first start up the engine, the watercraft wants to move. And in this case, it is in neutral, but you'll see even though it's in neutral, it's kind of creeping along. We're getting a little bit of movement here, and you can very easily correct for that with the handle. And then if you want to go forward, you would bump the throttle. And if you want to stop that, you would bump the brake or neutral over here. If you touch it once, usually that's neutral, and if you hold it, that's reverse. And to get back into forward momentum, you would just touch the throttle again. Handling them around the docks is a little tricky compared to what you may be used to in your outboard or stern drive powered boat. When I put it in reverse and turn the wheel towards the dock, in an outboard powered boat, you would pull the back of the boat in. But in a PWC, when you hit reverse and turn the wheel away from the dock, it actually pulls it into the dock. So make sure one of your first trips out, you get away into an open area, not really tight like this, out in the middle of the lake or river, and gently play with these settings so you can figure out what they're going to do, because often it's opposite to what you think. It's amazing though how maneuverable they are. Once you get comfortable with them, you can basically, with very little effort, turn them on a dime, because there's always just that little bit of momentum, and you can very easily maneuver them in tight spaces once you get used to how it's going to work. Wherever you go, when you're pulling up to a ramp to get onto the trailer or into the dock, or you're going to meet up with someone out on the water, always be aware and be ready to hit your stop button, because that is truly the only way you're going to slow the personal watercraft down. Make sure you're not going very fast when you do that. You want to use your reverse or neutral and slow the unit down before you hit the stop button. Once you're out on the water, you're going to want to try getting up on plane by accelerating, and you're going to want to try to make some maneuvers slowly at first to see how it responds. One of the most fun things about a personal watercraft, it is extremely responsive. When you apply throttle and turn the wheel hard over, it will literally turn on a dime and you could get very, very wet. Some other things for you to keep in mind while you're out on your personal watercraft is that you're going to want to keep an eye on your fuel. It's a really hard thing to paddle from a long way out. Depending on the model, they may have built-in GPS, they may have fuel flow meters, they'll definitely have RPM and speed monitoring, so you should be able to get a fair amount of data off of the screen or the gauges on your unit. So, slow and easy is the way to go when you first drive your personal watercraft. Make sure you've got on your life jacket, your lanyard cord, and everything is safe and secure so you don't lose it in the lake. Thanks for joining us on today's Lens Cove Lessons in Boating. Please like this video and subscribe for more. We'll see you out on the water.